Welcome back to Universe. I'm Andrew, and today I'm playing Avatar: The Last Airbender, Crossroads of Destiny. I've been playing through the campaign. It is a diverging paths campaign, so you don't play every scenario during the course of the campaign, but if you do want to watch from the beginning, there's a link in the description to where you can catch up, or you're welcome to join me either way. I believe this is the penultimate installment, at least in, again, my playthrough. You might play a different penultimate installment in your own playthrough, but I'm going to be playing the Day of the Black Sun. It says Team Avatar and their allies lay siege to the Fire Nation capital during a solar eclipse. Their combined forces must fight to reach the royal palace. There they plan to confront Fire Lord Ozai during the limited time all firebenders are powerless. The objective is to move the tank to the exit space and remove at least 2 enemies of any type. We'll get 2 Fire Nation dominance reduction for that. And as a bonus, we can get 1 more Fire Nation dominance reduction if we defeat all enemies before the tank reaches the exit space. So we have the tank here, and it's going to be trying to go straight down the line up there toward this yellow space. I have Aang and Toph today. Toph might be slightly off over here. There are 2 benders and 2 soldiers. They both have 10 hit points. And I say both of them because there's actually a special rule where if we do reduce one of their tracks down to 0, only one of the enemies is removed, not both, as is been the case in all other scenarios. We'll look at those special rules in a second, but just take a look there. There are also 4 exclamation points, and those are going to be marked with these numbered 1 through 4, and those are going to be turrets of different strengths. Again, the strengths is ending from 1 to 4. So our special rules are place the tank on the starting space, which we did. Place the objectives. I'll do that in a moment. The yellow tank or yellow space is the exit for the tank. In order to win, we've got to get the tank there. In addition, of course, defeating at least 2 enemies, as we saw above. This describes how we can damage turrets. So during a hero's turn, they have to do as much damage as the turret value to flip it over. And when we do, we get to advance the tank by 1 space. We also advance the tank by 1 space for every blank challenge token that we flip over. There are 3 of those. This token here will trigger the enemies to fix it. They will repair one of the turrets and flip it back to the functional side. And all heroes move 3 toward the bottom row. And then the barrage will flip the tank over, and one of the heroes will have to interact with it to get it back operational, but they'll get hit by the turret when they do, and they'll take damage or lose strength equal to the highest current turret value. So that means I want to take out the biggest turret first and fastest to avoid taking damage when repairing the tank after a barrage. However, I also don't want to damage the biggest turret first, because if they fix one of them, I don't want to have to redo that entire turret. Like if I did 4 damage to the 4-point turret, and then they fix the highest value turret, I'm gonna have to do it all over again. Actually, don't have to. I don't have to defeat the turrets to win. So I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world if they did repair that one. Also, I did some basic math, and the tank will move 1 space for each of these blank tiles, 3 of those, so that's 3 spaces it can move. It moves once for each turret I defeat, so that's 4. So actually I do have to take out all the turrets because that's how the tank moves. So that's 4 plus 3, that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actually does not get the tank to the ending space. So taking out all turrets and flipping all blank tiles doesn't even do it, which means it's almost a guarantee that I'm not going to be able to win the scenario during the first 6 hero actions. So each hero action ends by resolving one of these 6 tiles, one of them at random. So after Aang and Toph have each gone 3 times, that will have been 6 tokens. And depending on the order that they activate in, it seems like a pretty reasonable chance that I'm not going to be able to win within that time frame, just because the tank won't have moved far enough. But let's say I did get the 3 blanks and the fix it as the first 4. If I damaged all 4 turrets, then they fix one, and I damage it again, that would be 8 tank movements, and I would be able to win before theoretically these 2 tokens activate, but that seems pretty unlikely I'd be able to do that much damage, because I also have to be able to defeat 2 enemies within that time. So most likely we're looking at a round 2. I say round out. Once all 6 of these have activated, one of them will go here, and then we'll continue playing with just the 5 tokens remaining, and it's probably will take me at least that long to win, but we'll see. So I do need to assign the 4 tokens. I like to do that with dice. So let's roll for this position first. I'm going to roll a 20-sided die. 1 through 5 will be the 1, and so on. 3 is 1 through 5, so I'll put the 1 up here, which is a bummer because I am thinking I do want to destroy the 1 first, just in case I do get the, if I got lucky and got the fix it before anything else, it'd be easy to take out again. But I guess it's just how much damage can I do anyway. All right, I'll roll for this position. 1 through 6 will be 2. I'll re-roll 19 or 20. Oh, I rolled low again. And then for this position here, 1 through 10, I got a 15, so that'll be the 4 and then 3. And I also have the White Lotus tiles for the heroes. I could shuffle these 2 up and draw 1, but instead I will, again, roll. Aang will be odds, and 20 is even, so Toph will go first. And I've already drawn her hand. So what's my priority? The special rules do say that the objective tokens, the turrets, are considered to be enemies. And there's no special rule that says they can't be moved. So I wonder if Toph can, like, gravity pull a turret and pull it toward her. All right, I think I'm going to start by playing Appa. So Toph and another hero can each move 1. I'm going to move her to here and Aang to here. And I guess I will play Gravity Pull. Place an earth tile under Toph and move an enemy 2 spaces toward her. The healing won't do anything because she's starting at her maximum of 10 strength. So I'll take the earth from off the third one that wasn't on the map and place it under her. And because of her Earth Rumble champion ability, she can remove that to prevent 1 damage to her, as long as she's near it. So that'll be good. And the enemy I choose, I guess I want to take out this turret. Just in case I do flip the fix it. I want to be able to get that benefit. The benefit being an opportunity for another tank movement. So that was the gravity pull. Guess I'll play Momo. Well, no, I guess I play Reverberate. Place an earth tile close to an enemy. This turn Toph does +1 damage to it. So I'll move this one from the corner here, a little bit out of reach. Move that close to this turret, which is considered an enemy. She now does +1 damage this turn. So now I can use Momo to use a basic attack. She has the basic attack that for 2 cards, she can do 1 damage to an enemy close to her. She can also spend 2 cards to interact or 1 card to move. And then just while we're here, we can look at the Earth Rumble champion I mentioned. When a hero would take damage, Toph may remove earth tiles. For each one removed, prevented damage to a hero close to that. So that is why I want to have that earth near her there. Momo, though, counts as 2 cards when spent. So I'm going to use the 2 cards from Momo as 1 basic attack to do 1 damage. But because of Reverberate, we chose this turret as our enemy. So it's going to do 2 damage instead. And I can flip that over. That will give us 1 tank movement. So we'll scoot that forward 1. Momo is done. And that leaves Toph with just a single boring blank here. I guess I'll use it to move. And I'm just going to move her diagonally there, I guess. Just gets her slightly more into the fray. She's still next to both of the earth. All right, and then now I do have to resolve one of these. From bottom to top, I'll do 1 to 6 here on a 6-sided die. A 5 is going to be this one. That's the barrage. So the barrage flips the tank over. It can no longer move. And we have to interact with it to flip it back over. But then the hero will take damage or lose strength equal to the highest active turret, which is 4. So that's going to be a big hit. This will flip over, so that won't happen again, at least until we reset them. And Aang can go. So Aang's Air Nomad ability is, as a basic action, he can discard a card to place air anywhere. We've got air here and here, Aang being here. He has the same actions as Toph, basic actions, except for that he can spend 2 cards to do a range attack, which would hit an enemy who is directly orthogonal or diagonal to him. But currently there are no enemies he could hit with a range attack. Because he is diagonal with this Fire Nation Bender here. So that is a straight diagonal. He could do that. I got this Avatar State card. It's really bad right now. This turn, add 1 to each number on Aang's action cards. I got a basic blank, which doesn't help at all. I got this healing card, but he doesn't need to heal. I got Appa, so there can be Aang and 2 other heroes can each move 2. There's only 1 other hero anyway, and she doesn't need to move. but at least it would let Aang move 2, I guess. And then we got Earth Bending. So this one would actually be nice. Place 2 Earth tiles anywhere. Then tiles on that space, each close attack 1. I mean, I guess I would have to modify that to say then tiles on each of those spaces. Since 1 Earth tile becomes 2, maybe each of those spaces would get to do a close attack for 2. So that is actually very strong if that would work that way, which why not? The rules are kind of vague and wishy-washy, so I will resolve that the way I like. So 2 close attack 2 is pretty nice, but I'm gonna have to steal Earth because there's only 3 Earth tiles. So Toph is on one and next to another one, so I'd have to steal one from her if I were going to Avatar State Airbending. I don't want to take on any turrets this turn because, oh man, flipping the tank is really important because if I do flip a blank, I don't want to miss out on that movement. If I end Aang's turn and hit a blank, which is a 60% chance, I will lose a movement if the tank is not fixed. Avatar State and then Appa can get Aang there, but then I'll have to spend 2 more of my cards just to do the repair. All right, I guess that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start out with Avatar State, add 1 to each number on Aang's action cards. I will play Appa. Aang and 2 other heroes can each move 2. I'm just going to move Aang 2 so he's next to the tank in order to be able to interact with it. And I'm going to spend that healing card and a blank to do the interact, which fixes it. But Aang takes 4 damage, loses 4 strength because we have a 4 turret up. I wonder how bad that's going to hurt. I really don't want to take a wound. Usually the enemies target the highest strength, so Aang might be safe from that. I could take out the 4 first, but then I would miss out on the movement, and Aang would still lose 3 strength because the 3 turret would still be up. So it's not a huge difference. So I'm just going to let him take the 4, and he's going from 10 down to 6. If it gets to 4, he takes a wound, which would be my first wound of the whole campaign. And then my last card here is going to be Earth Bending. Place an Earth tile anywhere. We're going to place 2 Earth tiles anywhere. So I think I'm going to take 1 from here and drop it right there. So that's going to be close to both of the benders, and it's close to Aang, which means Toph can protect him. And then, not that I really want to steal this from Toph, because that's another protection for her, but I think I do want to take another one because I'm going to try to do a ton of damage to these benders and take them out. Not taking out right now, but do a bunch. So each of those 2 Earth is going to do a close attack 1, which becomes 2 because of Avatar State. So 2 close attack 2s is 4 damage to each of them. So I'm going to go to the Fire Nation Bender track. They started with 10 strength for the 2-player mode, which I'm playing, and they share this track, at least for now. So I'm going to drop the 10 by 8 down to 2. Now, normally when you get to 0, all enemies of that type are removed. In this scenario, it's a special thing where if they get down to 0, only one of them is removed, and then the strength is reset for the other one. So it's really only 1 enemy who's almost done, but it is 0 enemies who are actually done. So Aang is finished. These are all discarded. I should have drawn 5 more cards for Toph to prepare for her turn. I will draw 5 cards for Aang to prepare for his next turn, and I need to resolve a token. So do the same roll, re-rolling a 5. 2 is going to be a blank. I was able to repair the tank, so it gets to move again, which is good. But now since both players' White Lotus tiles are flipped, we're going to resolve an enemy. So I'll give this a quick bonus shuffle and grab a card for the enemies to act. The top symbol there is the soldiers. Move 3 toward the highest strength hero and do a close attack 2. So this soldier will move towards Toph and do a close attack of 2. I'll go ahead and spend the Earth here. Remove that with her Earth Rumble Champion ability to make that only 1 damage. So her strength goes down to 9. The other one wants to go to her, but she's too far away. So I think it just will go to the hero that it can reach, which is Aang here. Close attack 2, but he's also got Earth next to him, so Toph can protect him as well. And he'll take 1 instead of 2, which is good because that puts him to 5. Although I have a bad feeling about this. Let's see what's next. That bottom number 3 is not going to happen. It wouldn't happen next anyway, but we're going to skip that because those icons don't appear on this setup. But here in the middle, the benders move one away from the closest hero. So this bender will move away from Toph, and this bender, I guess, would move away from Aang. And then once this round, fire tiles move 2 and burst attack 1. Dang. Well, actually, Aang is safe because there's... Wait, are there not 3? There should have been 3 fire. I didn't set that up properly. Apologize. Now we're fixed. Fire tiles, though. So all the fires are going to move 2 and burst attack 1. So this one can reach Toph, and this one can reach Toph, so they both will. This one cannot reach anybody, so that's nice. Aang is safe, and Toph takes 2 more damage, and she is down to 7. So we've taken a lot of damage here, but that does end the enemy turn. Flip our White Lotus tiles back and roll to see who goes next. Again, Aang is odd. On my D20, 19 will be Aang. And I don't want to forget, I do have these 2 allies. So the blue spirit would let me, I can, once this whole game, I can have basic actions do +1 damage and fire tiles do 1 less. So Toph would have taken no damage if I had used that during that previous round. And we have Uncle Iroh, which gives one of our heroes an entire extra turn without flipping a challenge tile or anything. So that is extremely powerful. So I don't want to forget about those. I didn't use the blue spirit because I didn't feel like I was going to benefit from the basic attacks. But let's see. Definitely going to want to be able to put more earth out, but Aang played his earthbending already, so that's going to be up to Toph. In order to win, I have to defeat 2 enemies. So damage that I put on enemies is not wasted, at least not yet. If I defeat all the enemies, I can get 1 bonus dominance reduction. Just for winning, I'm going to reduce it by 2. And taking a look at here, our dominance is currently at 5. So if I get all 3 of those, it'll be down to 2. Also, my XP is at 18. It only can go up to 20. So even if I do miss out on one of these XP, the other 2 will max me out on XP. So I guess I don't have to feel bad about going into a second cycle of tokens. So, and getting, whether I get 2 or 3 dominance reduction doesn't make a big difference. Unless one of these challenges gives me potentially a couple more, and I could max that out as well down to 0. But we'll just see how I'm feeling as we get closer to the end. I've got to at least beat 2 enemies though, which I want to do anyway to avoid damage from them. So another nice thing we've got going on right now is that Aang is in he's in direct orthogonal lines to both benders. So because he uses range attacks, we can hit them with basic actions, spend 2 cards to do a range attack, which would do 1 damage. And then just, I mentioned this before, but this basic action, Aang can discard a card to place air anywhere. And I might actually do that. I think I'm going to spend this blank basic card to place an air. And I think I want to put it here just because it's next to Toph. And so here when I play Cheer, heroes close to an air tile, each draw a card and move 2. Well, Toph is now close to air, so she gets to move 2. I'm kind of sending her up toward that 1. I don't know if you can see but the 1 turret is up in this corner here behind the bender, or behind the soldier rather. Oh, I have been hitting the benders. For some reason, did I say soldiers before? I am hitting the benders just as well. So Toph gets to draw a 6th card for when she takes her turn. Aang is also next to air because he's next to this one under the soldier. Question is, do I want to move him as well? Yes. All right, I'm going to move him to here. So one nice thing also is that puts him next to earth. It also puts him next to fire, but if they move the fire, they can probably get it to him anyway. All right, so that was Cheer and spent that blank. And I am going to go ahead and use the blue spirit. So this round basic actions attacks will do +1 damage and fire will do -1. So we got to remember that. So that is happening. That is spent. And now let's do some basic attacks. Oh, now, oh, this is actually perfect. So now Aang is adjacent or close to this Fire Nation Bender, which means he actually cannot range attack him. But he is diagonal to this Bender, and he can range attack against this one. So that will work fine. And the card I drew just now is pretty nice. Got a staff twirl. If Aang is close to an air tile, which he is, again, same air tile, he's right next to it, he can do a close attack 2. So let's just do I was thinking it was a burst. It's not a burst, so he can't hit this soldier as well. But I'm just going to do the 2 damage to this bender. That's going to reduce their track down to 0, and I get to remove one of the movers, but not the other one. I will remove this one, and that resets the strength up to 10 for the other one. That is a close attack, not a basic attack. So it does not do +1 damage from the blue spirit, but it's good enough. 1 card for 2 damage. And that's just a basic starting card anyway. And now I'm going to use his basic range attack by using Momo. Range attack, basic action. Basic attack costs 2 cards. Momo counts as both of those 2 cards. We're going to do a range attack here. That's going to do 2, putting him down to 8. Then I'm going to discard this card and this card in order to do another basic attack, range attack against the same bender, reducing him from 8 down to 6. But Free Spirit says that after this card is discarded for any reason, which I just discarded it to activate the basic attack, Aang does 2 free basic actions, and I would like both of those to also be basic attacks, which will be ranged, which will be +1 damage thanks to Blue Spirit. So this bender will take 4 more damage and go down to 2. So Aang is 1 card or 1 2 damage attack short of taking out that second bender. Hopefully Toph can do something, although I just moved her away. And I need to resolve one of the tokens first anyway. I'll use the d20 this time instead. This will be 1 through 5. Got a 14. That shall be the third one, which is actually each hero draws a card. This tile here. So Aang should have drawn 1 card to end his turn, then reshuffled and drawn 4 more in order to refill his hand up to 5. And now because of this, he'll draw another one. And Toph gets a 7th card with which to play her turn. All right, so Toph's got a lot of earth bending going on. I think let's start by Quicksand. Choose an earth tile, move each enemy 2 spaces toward it, and then it does a burst attack of 1. So I'm going to choose this earth tile here, move all enemies 1 toward it. It does say each enemy. The turrets are also enemies. So this is weird, but I guess I'm going to do it. This one is currently flipped over. So I'm going to say that one doesn't count as an enemy because it's not currently a turret. I don't know. And then a burst attack 1 is going to hit this bender and this soldier. So the bender's down to 1 and the soldiers drop to 9. That's it for Quicksand. I'm going to do Tremors. This turn, whenever Toph placed... All right, I just had a bit of a camera disaster and had to rebuild the board, so hopefully everything's in the right spot. It's going to have Toph play Tremors. Whenever Toph places an earth tile, it does a burst attack 1. Now here for the rest of the turn. We'll leave that as a reminder. And we can do Metal Bending. Place an earth tile close to each fire tile. So we've got 2 off to the side that we had removed, and we can also replace this one. I think we have to replace this one last. I don't know if there's a rule about that, but it doesn't matter. I just want to hit as many enemies as I can, and I would like to be looking at the turrets as well. Although the question is, can she do enough damage to them all in 1 turn? Although if I put an earth here, right behind this bender, on top of the air here, that's going to be a burst attack against this turret and against this, or soldier rather, against this soldier. So let's go ahead and do that. So that'll damage this turret, that'll flip it over, and that lets the tank move. And 1 damage to the soldier will put them down to 8 because of the burst attack 1 when we place it. I definitely want to finish off this bender. So sure, I'm just going to say I'm going to put the earth right there on top of the tank. That will hit this bender, and that's going to do 1 damage, putting him down to 0. So he is removed. I've now met the criteria of removing at least 2 enemies. That will also do 1 damage to the soldier, putting them down to 7. And for the third earth placement, I'm going to remove this one and place that underneath Aang here, right behind this soldier. And that's going to be next to the soldier, putting them down to 6. And then 1 damage on this 4 turret. I don't know if I'll be able to finish that off this turn, because you have to do all the damage in 1 turn. But that is 1 against the 4. I do still have the blue spirit in effect, so basic attacks will do +1 damage. All right, so I'm going to play Falling Rocks, place an earth tile close to any hero, and I'll take this one off the tank here and drop it on top of this fire next close to Aang. But again, burst attack 1 is going to hit the soldier again, putting them down to 5. And it also gets to do and the damage to the 4 turret, which is kind of nestled back here, and the close attack one. And I'm going to have that be also against the 4 turret. So that means the 4 turret has taken 3 damage. And that resolves the falling rocks. And then I can play fissure, kind of a lame fissure, but it's move an earth tile in a straight line, any number of spaces, do 1 damage to each enemy it moved through. And I'm just going to have, here's a better angle on this, but we'll take this fire tile and just move it straight up through. I mean, can I just move it 1 space so it's still close to Aang? Because yeah, he hasn't taken any healing or anything. So just 1 damage, or put that under the 4, and 1 damage to this 4 will flip it, and that gives us another tank move. So now that's it for the fissure. Toph is not next to an enemy, which is a little bit of a bummer because we just have 2 cards left, and there's nothing really she can do with that. I mean, she can move twice, and that's about it. But I guess that's what I'll do. I'll have her move twice toward this direction, because if we do hit the fix-it token, which we're going to have to, it's going to repair the 4, which means we're going to have to do it all over again. Because in order to win, we need 1, 2, 3, 4 more movements. We've only got 2 blanks and 1 turret. So that's 3 moves. And as I said at the beginning of the video, we're going to have to wait for a fix-it. Or we're going to have to wait until we hit a blank in the second cycle of tokens. So moving Toph a little bit closer to the 4, which I'm expecting to get fixed, and then we'll have to beat it up again. So unfortunately, she's not going to be able to benefit from the blue spirit. Actually, the blue spirit lasts until the end of the round. I was trying to decide if it's worth it to have her take an Uncle Iroh turn. Now that turn that she just did was pretty big because she had 7 cards. She had an extra card from one of the tiles and an extra card from Aang. So if she does take an extra turn with Uncle Iroh, it will not be as big of a turn. What would my objective be during that turn? I mean, I could take out a soldier, because when she ends her turn, that will end the round. We'll move into the enemies. So that would be 2 enemies attacking us, and she would be able to, if she can do 5 damage, that would potentially take 1 out. But if she takes another turn during this round, we're still going to benefit from the blue spirit. I think I would need to decide this before actually ending her turn, because we have to play the ally during a hero turn, I believe. So I don't get to see what 5 cards she'd be working with. I just have to decide whether to invoke Iroh now. And I think so. Let's just do it. Benefiting from blue spirit. I mean, she's not even next to an enemy. But what the heck? I'm going to do it. So I'm going to invoke Iroh as well as during Toph's turn. So as she ends her turn, we don't flip a token yet. We're just going to reshuffle her. Her deck was empty, so we got to reshuffle the whole discard pile here and draw 5 more to play a bonus turn. It'd be great to take out a soldier so that it'd be just only 1 enemy left attacking us. Taking out a turret would be okay, but not as important. And taking out 2 enemies is almost impossible, because as soon as we take out 1 with 5 health, the 1 remaining will reset to 10. So very unlikely I think she can do 15 damage. So let's just take 5 for her. And awkwardly, Aang is kind of standing in the way, because she would like to be here maybe and beat up this guy. But Aang is in the spot she'd want to be in. No, I guess she can stand right on the tank. There's nothing that says the tank can't share spaces. Is there? I mean, element tiles I think can share spaces with anything. So I don't feel about when I put element tiles down on the tank. I think that's totally legit. But having elements or heroes or enemies share a space with a tank might not be. I mean, thematically, they could just be on top of it. So maybe it's fine. I'd have to go look back through the rules to see. Now, you know what? I'm just going to say objective. I think objective tokens you can also share a space with, like the turrets. Although these turrets count as enemies and you can't share space with an enemy. So, I'm going to say Toph can stand on the tank. Although then she could just ride the tank, right? Like when the tank moves, she would ride with it. But that would not work in the rules of the game. And the only reason I even cared that much, because she could just go here and attack this other soldier instead, is that I kind of want her to be a little bit this way-ish. Again, for that these 2 turrets that I still need to take out. And I could move her 1, 2, but that is onto the fire, and then she would take a damage. Oh, she would not take a damage because the blue spirit is all fire, does 1 less damage. and she would still be next to the 4 turret, which would be kind of perfect. So you know what? Maybe that's actually just better. So I think I'm just going to spend 2 blanks for Toph to have her move 2 spaces and just move 1, 2 right onto the fire and just ignore the damage. Blue Spirit prevents the damage. Now she is close to a soldier, so she can beat him up a bit. Although I don't know if she can actually get to 5 damage. And there was nobody she could hit. Yeah, there's no way that she could spend those basic cards as basic attacks because she wasn't close enough to anybody. Well, no, that's not true. She could move just once. She was here. She could move just 1 space onto that fire, which again, that was a space I was avoiding, but I don't have to. And that puts her next to a soldier. So I can actually move into position with only 1 card. She's not by the turrets now, but I might be able to take out a soldier. So if I play Reverberate, place an earth tile close to an enemy, Toph does 1 damage to that enemy extra. I think I'll just reassign this earth to here, putting it close to this one. So now she does +1 damage to him. Falling Rocks, place an earth tile close to any hero. I don't know if I have to actually move it. I mean, I could move it just into the space Toph is standing in. I'm just going to say I'm going to leave it there. I'm moving it to the space it's already in, or placing. I'm going to place 1 here, which means I have to remove 1. I'll choose that one and then put it back. I don't know. If not, then I would just put this one directly on Toph's space first, and then now move it to there. I don't know. Close attack 1 to the soldier, +1 because of Reverberate. It was 2, puts him down to 3. And then I will spend 2 cards. I'm spending Metal Bending and a basic in order to do a basic attack. Her close attack is 1 damage, +1 because of Reverberate, because I'm going to hit the soldier that we chose, and +1 damage to the blue because of the blue spirit. So that's actually a 3 damage close attack, putting him down to 0. And I think I will choose to remove. I can choose which one to remove now. I'm going to choose this one. And then this one resets to 10. All right, so that was not a brilliant turn, but I did accomplish what I wanted, which was take out 1 of the enemies. All right, so let's roll for a token. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got a 4 is the second one. That's a blank. So that will move the tank 1 space. 1 more blank and 1 more turret. We'll put it at the almost last spot, the penultimate spot. Draw an enemy card, and there's only 1 symbol, which is the soldier, which is the helmet, which is number 3 here. Move 2 and burst attack 1, but he's already next to an enemy, so he doesn't need to move. So he'll just burst attack 1, which would hit Aang for 1 damage, putting him from 5 down to 4. But again, Toph has Earth Rumble Champion, so I'm going to remove 1 Earth from next to Aang and prevent that 1 damage. So that's good, and that's all that happens because we got rid of all the other enemies. This should have been flipped, and now we've flipped them back over. Aang is odd, 10 is even, so Toph will take her 3rd turn in a row here, not counting the enemy's turn. 10 is a lot of damage to do. And we're going to lead off with Quicksand, choose an earth tile, move each enemy 2 spaces toward it, and then it does a burst attack. Part of me is weird, feels weird thematically moving earth, or moving these turrets around, but actually I think Toph would be entirely capable of doing that. They're all on these like stone walls and stuff. I'm pretty sure she could throw them around pretty easily. I mean, I don't know. I'm imagining just like Fire Nation soldiers with these big turret guns. And yeah, she could just earthbend those stone walls down and be throwing these people around. So a little weird, but not super weird. I'm going to choose this tile here. Although that does put me in a slight mechanical conundrum, because if I want, there's already a destroyed turret there. And if I want to move onto it, does it destroyed turret count as an enemy or not? Because I wasn't counting as an enemy, but now I kind of need to, because I wasn't moving the damaged ones, but I should with Quicksand. But like, do I move this one closer to it from the Quicksand? So I'm just going to move this enemy toward it, and I'll move this turret toward it. I'm not going to move any currently destroyed turrets, but I am going to treat the currently destroyed turrets as blocking, so no other movers, heroes, or enemies can share a space. Just because when the 1 does get repaired, when this number 4 down here gets repaired, I don't want to have any confusion about having 2 turrets in the same space, for example. So the 3 turret will take 1 damage. The Fire Nation soldier will take 1 damage, going down to 9. The 3 turret has 1 damage on it for this turn. It needs 2 more to be destroyed this turn. Let's play Appa and have each character move one. I'm gonna move Aang to here and Toph to here. Which I was moving her toward the soldier, but I do want to take out that turret. So maybe I'm gonna move her to here. Except I'm treating the turrets as blocking. There's a lot of blocked spaces right in this little territory here. There's these two turrets, there's Aang, there's this soldier. Because I want to play gravity pull and pull a turret toward her, but if she's like here, for example, well, I guess it could go 1, 2 on top of the tank, which I had not been considering as blocking. Very weird situation. Maybe I brought this on myself. Maybe she shouldn't be able to move these turrets around at all. Everything's blocking. That would just make everything easier in terms of rules. But we're going with it. So sure, I'm going to have her Appa movement put her here. I'm going to have the gravity pull move the turret closer to her onto the tank. And then, oh, that also placed one. Actually, no, rewind that. Not playing gravity pull yet. I'm going to use a card for a basic movement. Then I'm going to play, this is complicated, Tremors. Whenever Toph places an earth tile, it does a burst attack 1. She's not really doing much earth placement this turn. Yeah, she's only going to be doing 1 earth placement, and that is the gravity pull, which is her last card. Place 1 earth underneath her, which does a burst attack 1, which is going to hit the Fire Nation soldier. So all this complicated sequencing just for 1 more damage, putting him down to 8. And then move the turret, move 1 enemy 2 spaces toward her, but it can't move around. I mean, let's get him out of the way for a second. Can't move him, this thing here or here, and this is not toward her. So this is kind of toward her and then 2. So kind of going around Aang here. Still, she's diagonally next to that. Put him back. So that moved it 2 toward her. Oh, wait, why was I thinking she could do damage to it? All right, I don't know. I guess I just screwed that up. I'm going to let Toph heal the 2 from gravity pull, going up to 9. And we're just going to end her turn there. She'll draw 2, reshuffle the rest, and draw 3 more. And do low or high on the token. 17 is high. So now we get 1 repaired. Fix it, flip over the disabled turret with the highest number. So this 4 turret is now back active again. Oh, and heroes each move 3 toward the bottom row. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So I guess we're getting pushed back by the turrets. A little annoying for Toph. I think Aang's fine because he's ranged. And it is his turn. After his turn, we're going to flip this last blank tile, which will give the turret or the tank 1 more movement. And then if we destroy both of these 2 turrets, that will be 2 more tank movements, and that's it. I actually don't know how I would necessarily reconcile that if I were to actually do all 7 damage here, take out both turrets on Aang's turn, get the 2 movement, and then get this 3rd movement here, flipping my last tile. Would I win and get 3 XP? Or because I flipped them all, do I lose 1 of the XP? Not that it matters, because as we established, I'm at 18 out of 20, so I just need 2 anyway. I would say just take the XP, but won't actually be relevant for me. And I don't think he can do 7 damage anyway. So I think we'll start with earth bending. Place earth anywhere, and then, oh, it says tiles on that space. So if there were multiple earth there, they would all do it. So let's do that. I'm gonna reallocate this earth here and stack it up on that earth. So now each tiles on that space, each close attack 1. So each of those 2 does a close attack 1. So the turret number 3 takes 2, turret number 4 takes 2, and Fire Nation soldier takes 2, down to 6. So that's a pretty strong earth bending. We can play Appa, or maybe not Appa. Let's do glider. Put Aang on top of any air tile. So let's have him swoop over onto here. And then play Appa. So Aang and another hero each move 1. I'll move Aang down to here, so he's close to the 3 and 4. And Toph can move up a little bit. Then I will play Staff Twirl. If Aang is close to an air tile, he is still close to the one that he just flew up onto. He can do a close attack 2, so that's 2 damage to something he's next to, which will be this turret number 4. Took, wait, did it just take the 1? No, it took 2 burst damage from earthbending. Oh, I'm sorry. This is close attack 1, not burst attack 1. So I got to put 2 health back on the soldier because I guess I need to focus fire down a turret. Or do I want to finish off the soldier? Now I'm going to put the damage health back on the soldier up to 8. It's a close attack, not a burst attack. I wonder if I messed that up earlier as well. So now that was 2 damage on turret number 4. Turret number 3 took no damage, but now we'll staff twirl close attack and finish off turret number 4. I mean, he has the damage, so let's do the one he can do. The tank will move 1. Turret number 3 stays. So that is the staff twirl. And I guess I'm going to lose out on a Fire Nation dominance because I don't want to worry about these last 8 hit points. Let's spend a card and another card to do a basic attack. Oh, he's ranged though. I forgot Aang is ranged. He cannot close attack that turret number 3 because he's close to it. Oh, so close. Is there any other way I could have done that? He did have 6 cards because this is his first turn since flipping the each hero draws a card tile. All right, I'm going to cheat a bit and rewind. So let's reset Toph and Aang to where they were. We'll put this back to a 4 and start from the beginning. We did this already. We did the earth bending. I already put the earth here, and we're going to have 2 damage marked on the 4 turret. I'm going to spend Appa to use Aang's air nomad to place air there. So let's just take this air and just place it over here next to the 4. So I'm just spending Appa as a card to do that basic action from Aang's special ability. Then I will glider Aang onto that air that I just placed there. And then we can do staff twirl to do 2 damage as a close attack. We already marked the 2 damage onto the 4. So we flip it. I already moved the tank. And technically, again, we got the enemy mover or non-mover blocking or non-blocking thing. But because it's defeated, I'm going to say it's not blocking right now. As an enemy, technically, I guess it would be blocking. But I'm going to say it is not blocking because it is defeated, which means Aang has a straight orthogonal shot to the 3 turret. I'm going to spend 2 cards to do a basic action, basic range attack to do 1 damage to it. Free Spirit, when it was discarded, he gets 2 free basic actions, so that's 2 more ranged attacks. 3 total ranged attacks will take out the 3 turret. So a little cheesy rewinding takebacks and whatnot, but I'm going to do it because I'm pretty sure I would have won, but it feels more satisfying to do it in this first token cycle because now as I flip this last token, it will move the tank the final space. And I did what I wasn't sure was possible. If I was not able to defeat that 3 turret, the tank would have 1 more movement left and we would have to resolve an enemy before playing our next hero turn, during which I'm sure I could have taken out the turret. The only question is, I suppose, would Aang take a wound? I mean, if I wasn't able to pull off that maneuver, I don't know where he would have ended up. He's currently not next to any earth. The helmet symbol moved 3 toward the highest strength. So he'd actually, Fire Nation Soldier would want to attack Toph with this card anyway because she has higher strength. So he'd go close attack her and Toph would take 2 down to 7. So I don't have to feel bad. That is what would have happened if I hadn't won. Nothing bad. And I would have been able to win in the next round anyway. This way, I'm going to say no tiles are placed because I win in the moment before that tile would have to be placed, and these would be reset like this. But I'm going to take all 3 XP, not that I need it because I'm at 18, so 18 goes up to 20. That hits a green number, which means each of my heroes will gain another action card. And we can look at after the battle. Oh, and then the objective is -2. I think this is the first time I did not do the bonus. So 5 dominance drops down to 3. But I did not defeat all enemies. There's 1 enemy left. So if I wanted to play into the next round, I could have done that. And actually, mechanically speaking, I should, because I don't need that extra XP. I should have taken the time to defeat that last enemy and get the extra dominance. But I'm not going to. Hopefully, I can get down to the 0, and that'll be an extra ally. Should be really nice. But that'll depend on after the battle. Oh, there's no option. So it says, after the battle, choose one to continue your journey. Recovering, will you attempt to mend wounds at a beach party with fruit beverages and sandcastles? Go to encounter 13. Or focusing, will you attempt to increase Team Avatar experience by attending a play based on your adventures? Go to encounter 14. Now, I don't need any more experience, So I'm not going to choose that. I've never chosen to recover. I assume it lets you remove wounds. I don't need experience or wounds removed. I really was hoping to reduce dominance some more. I guess my challenge at the end of the previous scenario is really biting me because I'm not going to get any more dominance reduction, it seems. No more allies, unfortunately. I'm going to choose to go to encounter 13, though, just to see what a recovering encounter would be like. So I got encounter 13, the beach party. It says Team Avatar takes a break from training to enjoy the sunshine, drink fruity beverages, and build towering sandcastles. Toph's sandbending skills blow everyone away with a detailed replica of Ba Sing Se. But Zuko wants Aang to keep training. With the return of Sozin's comet only 3 days away, complete a recovering encounter. To win, collect 3 pairs. The first pair must be 1s, the second pair must be 2s, the third pair must be 3s. If you win, all heroes remove all wounds from their decks. If you lose, one hero removes all wounds from their deck. All right, what is a recovering encounter? I don't know how much this is going to show up, but this is the rules where it shows. It says use memory and deduction to match the numbers on pairs of tiles. Heroes may not talk or communicate with each other during this encounter. Mix all 12 element tiles with the number sides down. Arrange them into a 3x4 grid. It doesn't matter which tiles are where. Choose any hero to take the first turn. All right, so I guess this is a pretty simple memory match with the caveat that after each pairing attempt, you must remove one. And if you are in a group, you're not allowed to help each other. So I need to collect 3 pairs. The first pair must be 1s. So this seems like an advanced kind of end of the campaign, extra challenging version. So I reveal 2. I guess I'm looking for 2 2s, so I don't want this to match, but I don't really have control over that. So there's a 1. And then I flip both of these back over. And then I have to remove a tile. I'll remove this one. And then I'll look at this one. So 3. I mean, I don't know. I'll look at this one. That's a 3. A pair of 3s. So that actually messes me up because I needed to get a pair of 1s first. And now that I've made a match, I also have to remove a tile. I'll remove this one. Now there's a 50-50 shot. This is a 1. And it is. So I can pair it up with this one I'd found before. And I assume this doesn't help me. It actually hurts me more than anything else, but I could still theoretically win? No, not really, because now I have to remove another tile and I'm going to run out. So I really need to match with a 2. I know this is a 2, and this is a 50-50 chance of being a 2. So let's hope this is the 2. It's a 3, which means I pretty much fail. Remove this one. There's a 2, so I can match it with this 2, but now I have to remove something, and there's no way to make a third pair, although I do have a 3 left over. So quite a bit of luck there, but at least one hero would still get to remove all wounds. Again, I don't have any wounds, so I don't have to worry about that. The epilogue is that Aang tells Zuko he's decided to wait until after the comet passes to attack Fire Lord Ozai because he knows he's not ready. Zuko changes everyone's minds, telling them the information he received before he left the palace. The Fire Nation will use the comet's power to burn the Earth King to the ground. Or the Earth Kingdom to the ground. The journey continues. Sozin's comet has arrived. Team Avatar must stop the Fire Lord and save the world. Flip to page 24 and 25 in the Book of Challenges and set up Sozin's comet. Looks like that. 5 difficulty rating. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and bye.